Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. It just keeps getting better and better, what can I say? You know, we live in good times. Well, certainly unstable times and scary times, but still good times nonetheless. I mean, the timeline itself has been anything but dull, you have to admit. When it comes to engagement and entertainment, this storyline that we're living through is just a gift that keeps on giving. We've been really on this whole activists find out meta. A lot of different YouTubers have been making videos on this stuff because it's been just so incredibly enjoyable. Yesterday I made a video how a counter-organization has been formed, a counter-organization to the Just Stop Oil clowns, naming themselves Just Stop Pissing Everyone Off. I found it incredibly amusing how their tactic was literally just creating human barriers around these clowns, while the counter-protest effort, let's just say, took it to a whole other level in an absolutely epic recorded moment. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. I'm keeping it vague on purpose to keep the whole thing as a surprise. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, this is what happens when you've made literally every normal human being just trying to go to work your dedicated enemy. Just Stop Oil activists were having a get-together where they were planning their next events. It seems as though they're in some sort of cathedral, and anti-activist activists tied a particular very annoying alarm to a group of helium balloons and let it rise up to the very high ceilings during their get-together. Take a look at this. And probably before the video plays, I'm gonna try to edit the audio so it's not too aggressive, but just sound warning, the alarm's a little bit intense. Did you hear that one quote from the clip? One of the activists claim that they're probably just right-wingers paid by the Daily Mail. No, dummy. They're pissed off citizens who are done with your crap. Let's be real. Not to mention, hello, projection. The only professional activists who are being paid by major organizations is you guys. You're the only disingenuous clowns being paid by globalist millionaire entities. The people protesting you are those you continue to harass and annoy in public spaces. What an incredible moment of projection. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, it's like lefties have convinced themselves that they're the only activists in the room, and for a very long time, that has in fact been the case. You know, for a while, I've been calling on conservatives to actually get in the streets, to have a presence in the world of activism. The reality is, the left has had a monopoly on activism for a very long time. Maybe it's time to flip the script on that at this point. And it seems as though that's the strategy here. Just Stop Oil, or these leftist extremist activists on the street, are finally getting a taste of their own medicine. You know what? You guys love disrupting things that we love. You love vandalizing other people's property. You love getting in the streets and stopping regular taxpayer, hardworking Joe from being able to do his job. You love getting in the streets and stopping a random woman trying to rush her baby to the hospital. Well, hey, we could play the game of disturbance and nuisance too, probably a whole lot better than you can. You know, I think what we're really going to start seeing here is less power in the hands of a vocal minority. You know, we've mentioned that concept many times over the years. The vocal minority has been perceived as the majority for a very long time because, let's just face it, they're constantly screaming and constantly asking for attention, but they don't represent the average person. They don't represent the majority of the population. They're a fringe minority that's just really loud, obnoxious, annoying, self-righteous, know-it-all. It was fine for a while. I mean, clearly it's been cringe for a very long time, but the moment it crossed cringe and started to actually become disruptive is the moment that they messed up.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You leftoid activists officially have played yourselves, because now you're finally learning a very important lesson that two can play at that game. That's exactly what we're seeing. You thought forever that you were alone competing in the arena, but no longer is that the case. Regular people are done. And pretty soon, I think these leftist activist groups are going to be done and dusted. The inmates have been running the asylum for a little bit too long here. And finally, people are saying enough is enough. And now I know a lot of folks on the left are claiming that there's right-wing hypocrisy on this issue. And usually they're bringing up the trucker convoy from Canada. But I don't think that makes the argument that leftoids think it does. The trucker convoy was different in a lot of different ways. Firstly, it was started from a grassroots, boiling to the surface frustration, and it had a very clear, real-time, right-now demand that it was making to the government. Was it disruptive? Sure, I'll give you that. But it was a clear, current, and present, mobilized activist effort that wanted to see the end of a policy that was stopping people from earning a living. The just stop oil nonsense, I mean, they like to make it seem as if it's organic and grassroots, but it's not. It's funded by millionaires and billionaires. It's this sort of organized activism extremism, that's plotted in advance and mobilized from their various different headquarters and bases. The convoy protested in a way, indirectly they got what they wanted. Well, not entirely, but to a certain extent, they did achieve some of their goals. These leftoid Just Stop Oil activists don't really have a clear message as much as I can gather, other than just shut down the energy sector, which would lead to mass starvation and poverty. You know, they're not really specific in what it is that they want. They're just kind of committing crimes across the European Union and in the United Kingdom on a near consistent basis. I think there's some differences that should be appreciated, and another really important difference is the difference in terms of enforcement. It's funny how left-wing activists can break the law and get away with it because they're essentially supported by the same people who are funding all of the left-wing oligarchs, but if you participate in a disruptive right-wing protest that's grassroots, actually has a coherent, clear goal, and is short-term because they're in it to get the job done and then basically go back to work, if you participate in that kind of protest that goes against the globalist media narrative, well, then you're going to have your bank account seized, you're going to be arrested, labeled as a domestic extremist and threat to our democracy, handcuffed, thrown in a cell, and they're going to essentially do their best to destroy your life moving forward. The Canadian government is still going after Tamara Lich, one of the supposed leaders of the Freedom Convoy, with the most ridiculous trumped-up charges you can imagine, throwing the entire book at her in an attempt to do exactly that, destroy her life as if they haven't done enough damage already. You know, actual organized left-wing extremism in the form of protests, street blocking, destruction of property and vandalism, or the Antifa BLM element of looting stores, destroying businesses, attacking people, burning what seems to be entire cities down like we saw in Kenosha, well, they simply get away with it. In many cases, their actions are defended. It's mostly peaceful. They're just engaging in their civil right to protest. They're standing up for their community. They're doing important work, moving us forward. It's progress. You know, actual left-wing extremism is beautiful and progressive, and right-wing protests are domestic extremism. Yeah, sure. You know, I'd be a total hypocrite if I was calling for these left-wing activists to be arrested, bank accounts to be frozen and seized. Of course, I don't want to see that. But the current effort that we're seeing right now to clamp down on these activists by simply, this is going to sound dumb, but activisting the activists, it's perfect. It's a better strategy than the Justin Trudeau strategy, I'd say. Much more based. I'm telling you, this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Simply form human shields around Antifa in Portland, and they're pretty much done. I mean, considering the testosterone levels in those groups, all the spaghetti limbs that we witnessed during those events, let's just say they're not getting through a human barricade of right-wingers. Of course, a peaceful barricade. They counter-protest every right-wing event. Why can't we simply do the same? We could put an end to all of it real fast, and wouldn't that just be lovely? That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we'd love to have you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.